Eric, this is going to be more your wheelhouse because you're a bigger Van Halen fan than me, but let's talk about the drama in Van Halen now.
Ugh.
Michael Anthony on why Van Halen, I mean, what's left of it? It's not really Van Halen without Eddie, of course, but.
Hey, it's as Van Halen as Pantera is Pantera.
True.
Right. I mean,
Good
exactly.
Point,
there's actually a comment in here, though, that Michael Anthony says that I kind of want to discuss because it relates to that too. So good catch, Joey. Michael Anthony on why Van Halen tribute concert failed to materialize. One of the ingredients was not playing ball with everybody else. During an appearance on the latest episode of the Hook Rocks podcast, and this is most of this stuff, I put the Blabbermouth thing down in the corner, but unless otherwise stated, it's from Blabbermouth. The first article was from like rock celebrities or something, but I had the little watermark for it. Anyway, Michael Anthony once weighed in again on the proposed all-star Van Halen tribute concert, saying that it fell through because one of the ingredients was not playing ball with everybody else. No progress has been reported on a possible Van Halen tribute show since April 2022 when former Metallica bassist, see, I did not know this, Jason Newsted revealed that to the Palm Beach Post he was approached by Van Halen drummer Alex Van Halen about 6 months earlier about playing bass for the project. Newsted told the Florida newspaper that he agreed to go to California to jam with Alex and the legendary guitarist Joe Satriani and see if it felt right, but he eventually realized it would be impossible to do justice to Van Halen's legacy. Regarding why the Van Halen tribute concert failed to materialize, Michael told the Hook Rocks, as transcribed by Blabbermouth, "You're talking about Joe being approached by Alex and Dave, and then they've been people that all of a sudden in the press, I read that Jason Newsted, who played with Metallica, was approached about it as well. Now, I myself got a call from Alex and Dave a few years right around that time, and they wanted to put something together, and Joe was in the mix. And I remember talking to Joe a couple times, and after that too, and Joe was telling me, yeah, well, they gave me some of that album and told me to listen to it or whatever. He continued, all I can say is I'm not going to point fingers, but through all this, one of the ingredients was not, let's say, playing ball with everybody else. And that's all I'm going to say. I'll let you all figure it out. And that's why none of it worked. And you've read it probably with Wolfgang's bassist. And we know that. Wolfgang's interviews too. That he's been doing this past year. It's pretty sad because even when the band was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, this was 2007, Sammy and I were the only two from the band that showed up, and we weren't even in the band at the time. And it was pretty sad because I turned to Sammy during the show. I forget who was on stage playing, and we were sitting at our table, and I go, Sammy, could you imagine if all of us were here and everybody got along and we got up there and it would kick the ass out of this thing? It would be an induction ceremony that nobody would ever forget, and sadly enough, it won't be. On the topic of best of all worlds. So this is what I didn't realize is that there's kind of like dueling Van Halen tributes almost.
Yeah.
On his upcoming summer 2024 tour with Hagar, Satriani, and drummer Jason Bonham that will focus largely on the music of Van Halen, Anthony said, I love going out and playing Van Halen music. People who know me, they know I'm the first guy. We're on tour or whatever on a night off. I'll go out and I'll have a couple drinks and I'll go, let's go jam. And I'm up there playing with Van Halen music with bands. I'll walk into a club or whatever. And this is the line I thought was pretty interesting, or a good discussion point anyway. At this point, the music is bigger than any of the guys in it, he explained. And let's just get over all this crap and play what the people want to hear. They want to hear the music.
I mean, at this point, that's partly true because Eddie's gone. So,
yeah. I mean, he's the only real defining it's different with Pantera, I think, because even though Pantera was an institution before Phil Anselmo and Rex was in the band from the beginning, and Phil Anselmo took the band to the level that made them.
He took it to a new level.
Exactly.
Nice.
Well said, Joey. Well said. Anyway, I thought that was interesting. There's some more stuff about this, but he also says, I don't want to be the guy that goes out there myself, the only one from the band playing Van Halen music, Anthony concluded. Half the people would going, oh my God, yeah. And it's the other half would be going, oh, he's doing it for a cash grab because he's trying to soak any money out of the Van Halen stuff, which I'm totally not all about it. When this thing is not being able to be done properly and all of us are having fun, then I'm finished.
I mean, I saw Michael Anthony with Sammy Hagar last year, maybe it was. And it was the coolest thing. I love seeing Michael Anthony on stage. Even playing with Sammy Hagar was badass. I mean, Michael Anthony, does not get the respect he deserves, I feel like, as a musician and as a harmonizing vocal portion of Van Halen.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Van Halen's not a band that I was ever a huge fan of, but I think I appreciate them a lot more now. And like just to hear the music, like it has, like I notice a lot of the 80s stuff that I didn't like when I was a kid then, I like now because of the nostalgia factor. I like it more now. And I think like Van Halen fits that a lot, especially their early stuff, like Running with the Devil era, you know?
I mean, I always liked a handful of songs, but then it was last summer, Dustin, when I read that Eddie Van Halen biography or whatever, like I just fell in love with the band. I mean, like, the dude's amazing, you know?
It's crazy how that works because there's bands that we've been asked to interview and then I'll listen to their stuff and I'm like, it's all right. And then I talk to the band and I'm like, these guys are so cool. I love their music.
Yeah, totally. That's why I love doing this.
It can make or break your bands. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Talking to them?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Talking to them, you can either say these guys are cool or this guy's a dick.
Yeah, I've had some of that before too, and
yeah.
Not that I'm a complete, walked away from the band, but I just don't really listen to it much anymore because I'm like,
no. But part of it is you don't even want to think about that because you have these memories or you loved him so much, and then you talk to him and it's like,
yep.
Why did you have to do that?
Yeah,
that's why they say don't meet your idols.
Yeah,
yeah.
The rest of the article is kind of was interesting because I kind of was like, oh. Is Wolfgang so it says in recent months, Wolfgang has repeatedly said the drama in Van Halen camp has prevented a proposed all-star Van Halen tribute project from materializing. And then it kind of is him bragging about playing with Taylor Hawkins and stuff about the Taylor Hawkins tribute.
Did you watch any of that?
What's that?
No, I didn't.
Oh, you guys should go back and watch that.
Is it good?
Oh yeah.
I'll have to watch it.
He owns it.
Yeah, it says here I didn't know they played with Josh Freese and Justin Hawkins from The Darkness on vocals. That's cool.
Mm-hmm. That's cool.
Yeah. Wolfgang at the Hawkins tribute played on Fire, Hot for Teacher in Panama at the Hawkins tribute, told Classic Rock magazine he was no longer actively interested in pursuing the idea of a standalone Eddie Van Halen tribute event. I think I already did it with the Taylor Hawkins tributes, he explained. I feel a lot of closure because my part of the show was a tribute to my father.
I have so much respect for him. I mean, I saw them twice now, and they just do an amazing job. But the dude he seems so genuine, and he seems like such a decent guy, like honoring his dad and moving on with his own thing.
Yeah.
Like I love it. But he can shred any Van Halen song easy.
He's a talented dude for absolutely. He's Eddie Van Halen's kid.
He records every one of the instruments on his albums himself.
So look at this. Look at what he says here. When it comes to Van Halen and entities surrounding the band, it's unfortunate, certainly compared to Foo Fighters, who have their shit together with interpersonal relationships, Wolfgang added. I don't know what it is with some bands, but certain personalities just can't get over themselves. He has to be talking about David Lee Roth.
Oh yeah, he's talking about David Lee Roth.
To work collectively for one purpose. That's been the curse of Van Halen for its entire career. So my playing with at the Taylor shows delivered that catharsis without the stresses of dealing with the Van Halen camp and the players involved. Their camp is very dysfunctional. Everyone. Hell, it was difficult to make plans even when the band was active. Eddie died in October 2020 at the age of 65. The legendary Van Halen guitarist passed away at St. John's Hospital in Santa Monica. R.I.P. Eddie.
Yes.
Absolutely one of the greats.
Yes. So Wolfie's saying that Uncle Alex is dysfunctional too then, right?
Maybe because there's this weird dichotomy. Like why is the one group playing with John Bonham instead of Jason Bonham? Sorry, John Bonham would then.
Yeah.
John Bonham.
Well, it's Sammy, and Sammy put together his own band, and Jason Bonham was one of them. So
okay, so yeah, so Sammy seems like a really cool, easygoing guy too,
yeah.
And so he's just like, look, I'm not. He's probably same as Wolfie. He's just like, I'm not gonna deal with this shit.
Exactly.
I'm just gonna start my own band and fucking roll with it.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, and basically the band that he's going to tour with this summer is essentially the Chicken Foot Band. It's Satriani, Jason Bonham, and Michael Anthony, and him.